Hey everyone, welcome to episode 291, Systems for Your Systems. Welcome to the Harmony in the Home podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Hutchison. I'm a counselor, a life coach, and most importantly, an imperfect mom doing this work right along with you. And my goal on our podcast is to go from chaos to calm, feel less frazzled, and have more fun within your four walls to have more harmony in your home. So before we talking about systems for your systems, herbal face food I am obsessed with for skincare. And I really struggled with acne growing up. Like really bad, like so embarrassing. The things I used to write to my boyfriends in high school, I'd be like, literally, hey, how's your day going? Sorry about my face. I literally remember writing that to my boyfriends in high school in notes, and I passed them in the hallway. Did they care? No. Did I project that onto them? Yes. So my skin has always been a huge insecurity of mine. And once I started drinking Shakeology and cleaning up my eating in my 30s and 40s, that's when my acne started to clear up. Now, I don't think that was the problem when I was a teen, but definitely in my 20s, the adult acne, I was like, am I ever going to outgrow this? Like, hello, am I not? Am I still in puberty? Like, what is happening? So I do have acne scars from all of that, but eating clean and drinking Shakeology and using herbal face food, I never get breakouts anymore, but I do know it helps with teens for breakouts. So I wish I had this when I was younger. For me personally, it helps with fine lines. It helps with wrinkles. It helps with just the roughness of my face. If that makes sense. Like my face feels so like smooth, and it's old skin too. It's like 50 years old skin. Obviously it's non-toxic. It helps with rosacea, eczema, fine lines, wrinkles, puffiness, dark circles under your eyes, all of the things. So go to herbalfacefood.com. It's a way to support the show. It's like putting a tip in the tip jar, keeping the lights on for the podcast, because podcasting is not cheap, my friends, but it's so fun to do. So I don't want to put it behind a paywall. So going to herbalfacefood.com, and even if you just get the eye cream or you get a bar of soap, it helps the show. So go to herbalfacefood.com, then make sure you use the code HARMONY20, because that tells Herbal Face Food, hey, this podcast is pretty popular. It's sending people our way. And that's a way to help the show. Use the code HARMONY20 for 20% off your first order. And I think it's absolutely adorable that we have a coupon code. Like what? We are too legit to quit. So I want you to hear something about systems, because it's the new year. Everyone's like, got to get organized, got to lose weight, got to downsize, got to crush all our goals. We got to start a business. We got to go to church all the time. We got to save all this money. I'm trying to think of the 7 F's in ULA. We got to have more fun. We got to have more friends. We got to run more. It's like all the things. It's like we're just fresh start and we're just going to take it running. Now, I will tell you, whenever you have a goal, your brain is going to get into your brain, and your brain is going to do what brains do, and it's going to stop you in your tracks and be like, oh, we can't do that because X, Y, Z. And it's going to come out with all these reasons. So that's why when you have systems and then systems for your systems, you plug yourself into the system and it's foolproof. Not perfect. We're always shooting for B-, but it makes it foolproof because you're plugging yourself into a system versus you doing all the work all the time. That's why I love having a cleaning routine where I don't even think about cleaning. I just plug myself into the cleaning system that is already set in our four walls. And then it's almost like I'm on a merry-go-round. You know those merry-go-rounds, not like merry-go-round like at a fair, but like a merry-go-round at a playground where you like, it takes a lot of momentum to get that thing going. But once it starts getting going and you're like push to get it all started, and there's 10 kids on there and you're push. And then you're all of a sudden it's like flying and you just have to like kind of fan it. You kind of just like keep it going. But to get it going is really hard. But once it gets going, guess what it has? The big mo. So systems create momentum. And when you have momentum, you plug yourself in the system and the system does the work, not you. I know it sounds crazy, but it's so true. So of course I have a TikTok that goes with this exact topic, because all I ever do is think about you and what can help you. And then when I hear things, I'm like, I have to share this immediately.
You don't have a discipline issue and you don't have a consistency issue. You have a systems issue. If you are struggling to stick to the plan that you put in place to get to wherever it is you want to go, you just haven't figured out the system that works for you. This applies to any goal you set: fitness goals, financial goals, personal goals. James Clear says in his book, Atomic Habits, we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. I tried to lose body fat and get fit many times on the 5-day gym split, 30 minutes of cardio on a Stairmaster or elliptical a day, and I failed every time. Why? That system didn't work for me. I was not compliant, and compliance truly is the science. What did work for me was walking, getting my steps in, and 3 solid, focused workouts per week. If you build out the most optimal, best plan possible, and you only follow it 50% of the time, that's not very optimal, is it? I'd rather follow a plan with 100% compliance that's 50% as good, per se, because I'll get where I want to go faster. Figure out the lowest common denominators of what you need to do every single day to move you forward closer to your goal. I call those my floors. In fitness, it's 10,000 steps, hitting my protein goal, 3 lifts a week. If I do those 3 things on a weekly basis, I know if I'm not making as much progress as I possibly can, I'm at least getting closer. Slow motion is better than no motion. It isn't easy, but it is simple. Don't overcomplicate it.
Oh, slow motion is better than no motion. Oh, and I love what he says at the end. It isn't easy, but it's simple. Don't overcomplicate it, because that's what the brain does. The brain starts to brain and do the brain things of, I'm overwhelmed, I'm confused, I don't know what to do. You have to, that's why it's not one size fits all, which thank goodness it's not, because then we'd be a bunch of robots. And then when you don't fit into the plan that everyone's supposed to do, quote unquote, then all of a sudden you'd feel like, well, this doesn't work for me. So if this doesn't work for me, then that means I'm just failing at life and I'm just going to give up altogether. I always use the example of my friend Julie, who loves yoga, and I love running. So if the system was that you have to do yoga every single day, I probably wouldn't do that well at it, but Julie would rock it out. If the system was you have to run every day, then I would rock it out, and Julie would be like, this isn't for me. So you have to find what works for you. And just because your neighbor is doing something different than you, you're not copying off their paper. This is not high school. We're focusing on our work. Now, this is from the TikTok Higher Up Wellness. Oh my gosh. He has 1.1 million followers. It isn't easy, but it is simple. Apparently he has a podcast too. Who knew? The one we just watched has 1.6 million, but he has other TikToks that are like, he has all these like health and fitness ones, and then it's trying the limited edition Oreo flavored Coke Zero, gets 9.9 million views. Then he has another one that's 6.4, 8 tips to nail your next interview, 7.9 supplements every human should take. And some of them he has this like, no offense to him, but he has like this creepy mustache. I don't know why it creeps me out. He doesn't have them in all of them. Like when he has a goatee, it's like, but the mustache, I don't know, it just kind of like gives me, I can't think of his name right now. Oh, the dude that cheated on Raquel, or cheated on his girlfriend with Raquel. And they both have the same name. The guy with the freaky mustache. Oh, Tom Sandoval. Oh my gosh. He's giving me Tom Sandoval vibes. However, I don't even know his name, but go to Higher Up Wellness, and he's actually really good because he does these like quick little videos about staying healthy and systems. And that book he mentions, Atomic Habits by James Clear, holy guacamole. It's so good because it talks about creating systems, whatever system you want. I've created so many systems in our house. And I think it comes from my teaching background, where when you're teaching, you have to create systems. So then the kids just kind of show up and they plug themselves into these systems. And then the systems have systems which have systems. And then so when there's a substitute teacher in my class, I always wanted them to just be almost essentially like a warm body, where they just show up and then the classroom runs itself and they just help facilitate it. They help keep that merry-go-round going, so to speak. And I remember sometimes I would get a substitute because we would do personal development within the building. So I would be in an earshot sometimes of my class. And I was so impressed with the way that they would just come in, hop on the merry-go-round, and it just started spinning automatically because they were so used to it and they were so used to the routine that they knew how to plug and play whether I was there or whether I was not. And that's what you want for your kids. You want IPSs. You want independent problem solvers, where they show up, get up, independent, give them their free will as much as possible. And apparently it's a TikTok trend now of remembering I have free will. And then these people are doing like crazy things in public, like dancing or doing cartwheels, because they literally have free will, and your kids have free will. And when you give your kids their free will, there's not so much pushback and there's not so much like feeling like they're being micromanaged or they're being hovered over or they're just being like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, because kids don't respond to it just like we don't. I know if someone tries to micromanage me, I want to do the exact opposite. I'm like the Romeo and Juliet. You tell me not to date the guy, I'm going to date him more. Okay? That's the Romeo and Juliet theory that I have with parenting. When we do that to our kids, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. They want to do it even more. It's the Romeo and Juliet theory. It works with relationships and it works with when you're micromanaging and when you're hovering and when you're trying to control. And everybody wants to control. And guess who else wants to control? The kids want control over their own lives. So give them free will, age appropriate free will, and you won't have so much pushback and so much stubbornness and so much butting heads, so to speak, because you have your own free will and they have their own free will. And when you give that free will to people within your four walls, which sounds even crazy to say out loud, to give it to them, something that they already have inside their soul and it's something that they're born with, then everybody has much more harmony in the home. I love you guys and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Hey mamas, thanks for listening. If you had any ahas, clicks, or those lightning bolt moments while listening, you have to check out my free parenting bootcamp, where we take all of this to the next level and we try to create even more awakenings for ourselves so that we can connect more with our kids and never yell at them again. You can sign up at www.coachingkelly.com. And if you really want to fill up my love cup, send me an email of what your aha was, what your click was, what was that lightning bolt moment while you were listening. I want nothing more in life than for you to have harmony in your home and to learn how to be an imperfect mom like me, which allows your kids to be imperfect too, each and every day. Thanks for listening.